Rod, a frustrating day, a heavy defeat here. What are your thoughts immediately after that?
Yeah, tough one to take, really. Really tough. I mean, first of all, I've got myself and the players and the staff are obviously got to apologise to the supporters for that, because that was nowhere near good enough. Certainly not good enough. You also have to give credit to Boreham Wood. When we knew Luke had come back and he was going to get a big bounce, we knew that he'd probably get the best out of the team because they haven't had the greatest of starts. And I felt today you see a very, very, very good football team that had everything that you need to win games, which is they had the energy, decision making, game management, physicality, pace, people who can finish, literally everything that at this level, to be fair, you don't normally get in them standards. So I thought their standards today was outstanding. The movement off the ball, we never really started well at all. I thought we'd be brave here today and go with quite an experienced team. So because we knew what it was going to be, so we thought, well, let's try and be a little bit as experienced as we can. So we started with a 2 up front. But to be fair, they had so much time on the ball to hurt us. It was men against boys, and we got in at half time and we then made a decision. I've got 4 subs left to do and I'm going to make every 4. And the bit that I'd have to say is I thought that was our best spell. I felt when we put all the youngsters on, Cameron Andrews come on, Pegram come on, Chooks come on and Longy come on. I thought we had a really good spell of the game, and at that time it was 3-0. And then we've actually had 2 great chances to go through and try to work the keeper, one with Chooks and one with Longy. And you sort of think, okay, all right, listen, whatever we asked them for at half time was a bit of pride, play for the shirt, go out there, work hard, run hard, do all the basics for us well. And then we have a man sent off at that stage, which I think was a very poor sending off for stimulation. But we had one the other week when Martel got sent off when he was on a yellow. We played probably the best bit of football to work ourselves a shot on the edge of the box when Charlie Pegram joined in, and I thought it was just a free kick to us on the edge of the box, and then all of a sudden the referees pulled out a red. So that was at 3-0. And then, listen, they're a tough enough team to beat when you got 11 men on the pitch, and then when we lost Charlie probably 25 minutes into the second half hour maybe, it made it another long 15-20 minutes. And to be fair, I think that's when we looked at our worst again, when we capitulated, made some bad mistakes. Davies basically nearly put one in his own goal from a corner. I thought their 4th goal, we should have dealt better with that in the corner. And then you've gone and got the one at the end. Donks has just played the ball into their forwards when we're literally high up the park and just trying to play for pride. So, listen, it's not a good one. And I just said to them, we've got a lot of players here with a lot of excuses, and we have a lot of injuries out, and we've had to think really hard over the last couple of days how we can even piece a team to come here. And just listen, when your luck's not in, your luck's not in. And what I mean by that is we've come here when Luke's come back home, and we've had to play him, and it's been a fantastic day for him. We have all the supporters back on his side now, and we've had to, we've got to lick our lips and take the bruises. So really disappointed with just all of it today. But I would say we did have a really good spell with the youngsters, and I'm not saying that game would have ever turned back in our favour at 3-0, but just be nice if we'd have nicked one of them or a couple of them at 3-0, and then it gives you 3-1, 3-2. But listen, I'd be asking for something virtually impossible to try to win this game here today. And if I'm being honest, we probably felt like that before the game. I knew it was going to be really, really tough because, we've got 6 or 7 injuries that are still out. And I don't want to use them as excuses, but today I've given some of them a chance that have been in the squad and then around it to come back in and show us what they're going to, what they can bring to us. And if I'm being honest, I go away scratching my head thinking I don't know what they brought to us today. And I've never made 4 substitutions in all my time of managing. me and Kev are sitting here today going, well, what do we do? Who do we take off? They're still on the pitch now. Who do we take off? How do we do it? How can we just stem a little bit of what they're being good at? You know, the four sort of sat in there and dictated the game most of the day. But look, they're going to be there or thereabouts. I think now Luke's come back looking on that performance, you've got to say, listen, they're probably going to be one of the favourites to win it for what I know about the Conference South. And rightly so. Their players there are all seasoned ex-pros that have not only just played in the conference, but most of them have also played in the league. And there was not one weak player there. There was not one lad that you looked and thought, well, he's a small lad or he's a young lad. They all just looked really very, very strong, athletic footballers. And we couldn't live with them. But that little spell that we had, that little bit of 20-25 minutes, I was really, really pleased with the youngsters that went on and really gave us a little bit of hope that we could get out of here, a bit of respectability. And in the end, as I say, once Charlie went off, then there was no respectability at all.
Obviously, next weekend is going to be a free weekend. Is that a little bit of a blessing in disguise in the sense that chance to regroup? You mentioned we have got injuries and there's an extra week to get bodies back and all that sort of, just to get back on the training field, do a bit of soul searching and work on it.
Yeah, I think over the next 2 weeks it's got to be really important for me and Kev, to be fair, because you do pre-season and you sort of come out the other side of it and you sort of feel that you're where you want to be. Wasn't allowing for the injuries, I mean, if you look today, there's no Ben Wells, there's no Dan Martin, there's no Chory Johnson, there's no TJ Bramble. That's just some of them. Then you've got Harvey Walker, Zane Walker. There's a lot of players there that could probably make us stronger. But what I'm starting to find is I think it's time for me to roll the dice a little bit and let some go out and try and just bring in a bit more fresh blood, because I don't think some of them are for me, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't think they're my type players. I think they're quite weak mentality. And anybody who is weak mentality, I can't really... I struggle to work with them, because one thing I asked as a standard is to work hard and go out and just put a shift in for me. And some of them I just think look like they've either been injured for a while and then, I mean, today, look, didn't even bother to stop them crosses in the box in the first half. I mean, that's just poor. And it's not just one player. As I said, we made 4 changes, and I said any one of them 4 changes, it could have been, I'm not blaming them individually, but collectively that first 11 in the first half to be 3-0 down was well off what we was expecting. And we set up like we did today to try and say, well, look, let's stay in the game. We never set up to try and win it. Early on, we set up to try and stay in it, and we didn't stay in it long enough. They could have scored from the very first move. They could have also, the goal they got, the man was not even marked on the edge of your box. And what I feel with these players, a lot of the time we have to keep just reminding them and telling them and do this and do that. But you can't just rely on Dave Winfield to be the out-and-out leader, and he's got to be the one that's going to organise everything on the pitch. But they had 16 Davy Winfields today. That's the difference. They had every player that come on had something about them. Not just good footballers, physicality, communication, proper side. So, we have actually been beat today by a team that I would like to think they're going to be there to come the end of the season. They're going to be right in the mix for promotion. But today we was just very disappointed. And I'm disappointed with a lot of players individually, and obviously Kev's a little bit more disappointed in collectively, because we were so open at times, and lots of work to do. So getting back to what you said, Ollie, the 6 weeks, 6 weeks, feels like 6 weeks. The next 2 weeks has got to be big for us to make some decisions, and I will move it about. I will be getting on the phone and trying to improve us, and if that's not going to, put it this way, it hasn't worked in the last 2 games, but I've been seeing some of the performances like Chesham at home. I thought we was a bit poor then as well. So it has been knocking on the door in 1 or 2 games that we've had. So time for us to get this out of the way. It's going to take a few days to get over this, but it's then time to really assess what we want to do and where we're going to go going forward.
Cheers, Rod.